Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
How does PwC take your company to the leading edge? They bring the sharpest minds in tech to your team, so you can bring the ideas that will transform your business. They're passionate about your industry, so you can walk into any room with every advantage. And they're with you every step of the way, so you can know you're headed in the right direction. PwC builds for what's next, so you can get there now. Get started at pwc.com/us/leading edge.
The Dick Morris Show. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Welcome back to the Dick Morris Show with Doug DePiro, sponsored by the Patriot Gold Group.
So Stefanik drops out in the governor's race, clears the way for Bruce Blakeman. So, and we got John McLaughlin on the show. But anyway, before that, Blakeman, he basically, her dropping out, opened up the lane for him. He used to be the commissioner of the Port Authority, right. New York, New Jersey. And then he was county executive, Nassau County. I think he is now, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, John McLaughlin's going to tell us all about it. Hey, John, how are you?
Merry Christmas, Doug. Merry Christmas, Dick.
Merry Christmas to you,
John.
Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah to you listeners. And so anyway, but Bruce I've known for years. And he ran on Governor Pataki's ticket in 1998. Wasn't successful, but Governor Pataki liked him and he appointed him to the Port Authority. And Bruce has done very well. I've done his last two campaigns, did his polling for county executive. And in 2021, I mean, Laura Curran was very popular as the county executive in Nassau County, but she reassessed and she was running with a guy who sponsored cashless bail. So Bruce.
So she reassessed the property and the voters reassessed him.
And Bruce ran a great campaign, and the Nassau County organization under Chairman Joe Cairo is a very formidable organization, and it's an 8-point Democratic county. But Bruce really worked hard, and he won the race by a couple thousand votes. The first poll I delivered him, he was down 24. So this phases him nothing right now to be, down to Hochul. But he's not known statewide, but he's got potential because he can win the suburbs. He's popular in the suburbs. In fact, we did a post-election survey in Nassau County because he just won re-election by double digits while everybody else was getting killed, the Republicans around the country and upstate. The Nassau County Republicans, their ticket topped down under Bruce. Bruce had cut taxes. He held the line on taxes again for 4 years. He cooperated with ICE. They put like a couple thousand criminal illegal aliens in their jail. And they also, he hired hundreds of new police, and crime went down to the point where they have the safest county in America. So he got reelected double digits. The DA got reelected, the controller, the clerk, every town supervisor, everybody. And it's a Democratic county. So when you looked at the exit polls that we did out there, I mean, Bruce was like, he basically, first of all, he against Hochul, he would beat her by 11 points there, which is very close to his.
In Nassau.
In Nassau. It's better than what Lee Zeldin had, because Lee, who I polled for, got 55% of the vote out there, got like 60 in Suffolk. So you got to win. If you're a Republican and you want to win statewide, you have to blow it out in the suburbs around New York City. You got to get 35% in the suburbs in the city. Trump got 30. Zeldin got 30. Bruce has the potential because he won with Jewish voters, Asians, Hispanics. He got a third of the black vote just this time around based on his record. And he also didn't run away from Trump. He brought Trump out to the Ryder Cup. Remember that? They had the big golf tournament.
Sure, right.
Nassau County sponsored it. He brought the president out there. The president brings his granddaughter.
Yep.
And it was like a Trump rally. People were chanting USA. You saw the better side of Donald Trump where Nassau liked him. In fact, we did a poll after Trump had come in and he had a 57 job approval. And this is in Nassau County, which is 8 points Democrats, and that was higher than he won the county with 53%. So
there's a major contrast between Blakeman and Hochul right there.
Yeah,
with everything.
Absolutely. Yeah, because Bruce is a very likable guy. He's experienced. He's learned. He's had his ups and downs in politics, but he's a very effective county executive, which is like being a governor. People don't realize this. Nassau County is bigger than 8 states.
Wow.
I mean, that's where Aldemano came. They have the town of Hempstead out there. There's 800,000 people. There's 1.5 million people there. So it's kind of, it's and the border. Right now he's on the border of Brooklyn and Queens, and he's like worried about Mondami, where they're, because Mondami's talking about shutting Rikers and he cashless bail. They'll go beyond that. And
but do you think Blakeman has a decent shot against Hochul?
Yes. Yes, because he has the potential. Like in his first race for county executive, he was down 24, and he understood what the issues are. He cares about the middle class. He does really well with ethnic voters. He does. He wins the among Persian Jews in Great Neck and the Orthodox in the 5 towns. But also in North Hempstead, you got Chinese, Korean, Indian voters. He does well with them because all these anti-Asian attacks and all these anti-Semitic attacks, he's been out there in the forefront trying to keep people safe.
I was just going to ask you how and why.
Yeah, I want to, but I want to understand the basic dynamic here. I think that the real question for Blakeman, as it was for Stefanik, is how are you going to handle the relationship between Hochul and Mamdani. If Hochul's not going, because Mamdani is going to start to bring chaos and disorder and all kinds of horrible things to New York City. And the question is how Hochul is going to respond to that, and then how Blakeman is going to respond to Hochul's response. Will Blakeman call on Hochul to fire Mamdani, to supersede him? Will he attack Mamdani? I think that what Blakeman needs to do is to run against Mamdani.
Yeah, I like
and he needs to say the only effective check on Mamdani now is the governor of New York.
Hochul. Wow.
If Hochul isn't going to do it, I'm going to do it. So Hochul just did X. I'm going to undo X, and I'm going to go after him for that. And I think by basically running against Mamdani and eviscerating Hochul for not using the power that she has to curb Mamdani, it's going to be very important. I think Hochul against Blakeman will in effect be the appellate court that on the judgment that elected Mamdani in the first place.
Interesting. What do you think about that, John?
Dick is. I've always working with Dick. Dick's always ahead of the curve.
Wow.
But I'll tell you, in September and October during this past campaign, Hochul had a 61 disapprove in Nassau County. They don't like congestion pricing. They don't like cashless bail. They don't like overriding local zoning. So she had a 61 disapprove. Mondami had a 69 unfavorable in our post-election survey. And because of the fear of crime and all the socialist things and higher taxes. So Nassau County, for all those candidates that we got elected, they spent millions in mail and local radio. You probably heard them on your show. We were buying your show. But we ran against the Hochul-Mondami Democrats. Mm-hmm. Now, the interesting part is Governor Hochul has a primary. 4 years ago, she didn't like the fact that she had a primary from Tom Suozzi and Lee Zeldin didn't. So she suckered some Republicans. Well, basically she had Democrats encouraging Harry Wilson to get in and spend $15 million when Lee had it locked up, and Lee won the primary. But he had to spend $15 million. So I hear Governor Hochul's looking to give Bruce a primary. Her people are like in a panic because they know his potential. But on the other hand, Mondami, by the way, in that recent statewide Siena poll, I mean, Hochul only had a 43 favorable and a 41 unfavorable, and there's more Democrats in that and more New York City voters than typically in the turnout, so their model's a little skewed towards the Democrats. But in that poll, Mondami was net positive. And it was scary because he's basically 46 favorable and 31 unfavorable. So he's gotten a huge honeymoon out of the New York City press.
Right.
And probably the national press, because he talks about affordability. But how can you dare talk about affordability when you want to raise taxes on people?
Yeah.
That's, after 4 years of Biden inflation, how do you raise taxes on anybody?
Exactly. And I think that Mamdami's administration is doomed to be unpopular statewide in New York, both because he's socialist and because of the stuff he's going to do. And the only person that will have the power to curb him is Hochul. And the question is, will Blakeman use that as the basis for his campaign? And I think Blakeman needs to move the election up, in effect, and say the only effective way to stop Mamdami from destroying New York City and helping to destroy New York State is to elect me governor and defeat Hochul.
Mm. Well, Bruce has already been out. And by the way, Bruce, he does things based on what he thinks is right for the people of New York. So he's already been out there talking about if he does certain things like defunding the police and letting more criminals out because they're right on the border of Queens and Brooklyn.
Sure.
He's doing things in Nassau that he has to do as county executive to keep people safe. But on the other hand, your point, Dick, is let's see. I mean, he kept Jessica Tisch. Let's see what he does. And, Bruce running for governor, I'm sure he'll be outspoken like he has already spoken about. Governor Hochul talked about raising the corporate tax rate from 7% in New York to 11%. That's on top of federal taxes.
Yeah.
If you want jobs and she's doing it to try to keep Mamdami happy so she has money for him. Bruce already spoke out about it, issued a press release right away, because if you want jobs to flee New York, you raise the corporate tax by 40-50%. I mean, you'll have really good paying jobs leaving New York, and you can't do that. So Bruce is already. Bruce, he may be listening to you, Dick. So
well, he's going to be on very soon anyway.
If he's not listening to me, he listens to you, and you're listening.
Well,
yeah.
And John, let me ask you.
Got a very good sense of where the voters are in the issues.
I'm curious about Stefanik, just because I want to know if she thought that maybe Hochul had a real shot of this governorship, why she bailed out. Do you have any opinion on that?
I don't know. I mean, Elise was, she's very strong among Republicans. She certainly has done a great job in Congress. I was disappointed when she didn't get the UN ambassadorship because I thought she would have been great there. Mm-hmm. And, but I have a feeling, unless she says she's not running again for Congress, I have a feeling she will have a strong future in whatever President Trump and his future.
I'm wondering if it wasn't more a lifestyle thing, because when you say you're not running for governor, it's one thing. When you say you're not running for Congress, it's quite another. Mm. When you say you're resigning your seat, that's a third thing. And I think that the stuff that causes that is
family
and things like that.
Love for your children, and you want to see your kids. Sure, that's what maybe.
Yeah, she's a young mom, and it's a big sacrifice in terms of the lifestyle because with this Congress with it so close.
Yep.
So I take the Congresswoman at face value, what she said, why she left the race, and because it's still, even for us, for Bruce, it's a tough race.
But for us, let's remember the basic thing here. We got screwed by Mamdami's election, and we tried to stop it, and we couldn't. And now the only way to save New York City is to save New York State. Mm. And the only way to do that is with Bruce Blakeman.
Yep. You're exactly right. I mean, you're exactly right, because you've seen this in New England, where the only way to basically stop, liberal legislatures is when you had Charlie Baker as governor of Massachusetts, or you got Phil Scott up in Vermont, or you got Governor Sununu in New Hampshire. So, the only way to stop the Democrat supermajorities in the Assembly and the State Senate is to elect a Republican to be the check and balance on them, so they don't keep doing what they're doing to further the decline.
And Mamdami is going to fry himself by proposing the stuff he's proposing and then moving ahead with it. And the more there's a focus on that, the more there's a focus on what he's actually going to be doing, because his publicity of what he might do is so heavy that we need to look at what actually happens.
I think Trump is going to let him go quite a bit. He's going to
let him hang himself.
Let him hang himself for, I think, a good 6 to 8 months. Trump could come in early on. I think he's going to step back and say, look what you voted for.
And then Blakeman has a chance to come in and be the appellate court here and say, okay, this is your chance to undo what we did.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, John, I like the way, Doug and Dick, I like the way you think. Let's keep it a secret, okay? That'll be our secret strategy.
Okay. Don't tell anybody. If you're listening, don't tell anybody.
If you want to keep a secret, you kill Dick Moore. What do they say? 3 men could keep a secret if 2 are dead.
Yeah, right.
That's an old saying.
Doug, it's Christmas time.
You're right.
Right.
I'm so glad you're on with me, Dick.
Yeah. I just give him a little bit of arsenic every morning, just a little drop.
Don't tell me that.
Okay, guys, you take care.
We
John.
love him. We love him. Thank you, John.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dick. Thank you, Doug. Merry Christmas.
The Dick Morris Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.